Aranya, Yvonne, Ragnar, Alara and even Timo are all following a cyborg into Violet, who is also on board, tentatively. But as they all sit down to plan, they realise something. How will they actually lure the cyborg in? They do not seem to be hungry, points out Ragnar, as the group carefully peers out of Violet's doors. A couple various wild critters scurry by occasionally, and the Moors don't seem to care about chasing them down to eat. We could try having the boss send a spider. They seem to like going after those, suggests Timo, but Yvonne shakes her head. They seem a little too interested in the spiders. If they notice it on the ceiling, we could draw in more than one, and Thedium seems reluctant to make shortcuts to allow them to get here unseen, she points out. What if we try throwing rocks or something at one, suggests Aranya, and the others weigh that option, with Alara voicing her opinion first. It'll be risky, but would it be easiest to pick exactly which one we want? Yvonne nods at that. If they behave like other terrestrial nesters I've seen, the weaker ones will be more aggressive in guarding their territory than a stronger one, which will make it easier to draw it off. If we bide our time, we can even try to instigate something too. Wait for a stronger one to eye its territory, draw it towards us, and if the stronger one moves in, the weaker will have little other option than to try to come and get us. We even have a clear territory here in Violet that it might want to claim. Violet doesn't seem happy with that, but Timo does his best to ease her concerns. We won't let it actually claim you for its nest, Violet. We're just planning around how it thinks. All the Moor would see is an unclaimed area, and then we spring the trap. Are you guys going to be able to handle even a shrimpy cyborg though? The one Tiny fought was pretty gnarly, and I spotted a few that look even meaner. Timo relays my concerns, and they all nod. We're certainly not strong enough to just go charging out there to fight all comers, says Alara, but that's what the plan is for. We'll lure in a smaller, weaker one and deal with it once the doors are closed. If something goes wrong, we'll take an emergency shortcut back to Thedium's territory. You can do that, right, Timo? My voice reluctantly nods. It'll be a drain, but I think so. It'll be even more of a drain to probably collapse it afterwards, but yeah, I think I can. Sounds like we have a plan, says Ragnar with a wide grin. We'll draw the BC here. I'll keep us focused and you'll not put it down before it turns me into dwarf jelly. They all nod to the simple plan, and Timo relays it to Violet. She still seems a bit nervous about it, but she gives her permission. She even points out to Timo a patch of puffballs to try to draw the cyborg through. She's not sure if it'll actually do much, but she'd like to contribute more than just the doors. The plan's set. The group returns to their careful scouting and observing of the cyborgs, looking for a good opportunity to try their plan. I nervously watch for a few minutes, but it's quickly obvious it'll take a while. Yvonne's party is experienced enough to be patient and wait for the proper time, and Urania is smart enough to follow their lead. I should probably stop worrying about them, but it's not that simple. Bah. Leave the pros to do their job. Obsessing will just wind you up, so go do something else. Like checking in on the not-so-terrible trio in the gauntlet. With the cyborgs in town, a lot of the adventurers are checking out the new show, instead of competing to be the first to beat the hard gauntlet. It also helps that the trio have been significantly ahead in their progress too. They're back to the final room, and they're very close to victory. They're also very close to washing out again though. They've traced the pipe they need to connect, and now it's a matter of putting their handles on the correct valves to send the water where it needs to go. Mine should be set, shouts the halfling, Meander, looking nervous and excited at the same time. She looks more in her element than I think I've seen her before too, even without an animal companion. Done here, exclaims Hark, the tanned elf, as he points a finger at his own set of pipes, taking a moment to double check everything is how it should be. Yeah, looks good. Khenal? The troll leader of the group growls at his challenge. My pipe goes into a box or something. It's not the only one too. I'm not sure which is the right valve to close for it. What's it look like? Asks the elf, knowing that the solution for one room is often hidden in a different one. I made this gauntlet to make sure people cooperate better, after all. We're low on time, wants Meander, and she's not wrong. I don't have an hourglass or anything set up, but after getting washed out so many times, they're getting a feeling for the rhythm of how long they have. I'll just have to guess, grumbles Val to himself, and sets the valves before running over to the main one for his room. Ready? 1, 2, follows Meander, hoping they have it right, and that even this brief delay won't wash them out. They still have about 10 seconds, which isn't a whole lot, but plenty for this at least. 3, finishes Hark, and all 3 open the flow valves. It's a tense couple seconds as the water rushes through the pipes. They've had to endure this wait many times, and only once have they tasted victory after it's over. Make that twice, now. They flinch as the doors open, before they all laugh and rush through to the reward room. Their old stuff is long gone, but I think they'll appreciate their first true stash from me. And to top the coins and stuff, lays a simple wooden board with words carved by my Arania. First to complete the challenge gauntlet. Khenal grins wide and holds the sign high, and the other two cheer. We did it! What rank do you think it will be? Asks Hark. Khenal shrugs while Meander considers that. The guy's checking through the loot to see if there's anything of special interest. Well, we're some of the top in the guild as far as raw power goes. That's probably one of the reasons he's recruited us. Yeah, but a lot of the others are gaining fast. Stadium is a great place to train, grunts Khenal. Looking forward to turning in this particular quest, so the three can get back to some more typical delving. The gauntlet was an interesting challenge and test, but the troll knows where his particular talents lay. It really is. Did you know there haven't been any deaths in here yet? Says Hark, and the other two look at him like he's lost his mind. Of course there have been deaths, Hark. You sure what that Raven Scion did to us? Points at the halfling, as she joins the guys in sorting and gathering the loot. Yeah, I did, but we also survived, right? I'm telling you, I've been checking. There's been some good scares and some close calls, but nobody has died in here, he insists. Khenal still doesn't look convinced. Even if that's true, which I doubt, it'll only be a matter of time. Even the most peaceful toy boxes have had people die on accident. What if it's a life or death affinity dungeon? Insists Hark. And it's Meander's turn to give him a look. What makes you even think that? Well, Yvonne is alive, or not. You know what I mean. He saved her. What if he saved others? What if the close calls were closer than people think? I think you're crazy, Hark. Death and life affinity dungeons are pretty obvious in their affinities. Besides, other people would have had that same condition if he was doing the same to them as he did to her. I think it's earth affinity. Why is that? Asks Khenal, as he examines a pair of boots. It hasn't been content to just expand into natural caves and tunnels. It manipulates the stone to make what it wants. I think it's water. The only reason it hasn't gone to the sea yet is it doesn't quite know it's there. The two look to Hark to see if he's changed his mind on what aspect I am. You sure it's not death? He asks, and Meander nods. Then I think it's life. That's why Yvonne is a weird kind of undead, and why nobody has died in here. The other two shrug, and Khenal speaks up. Whatever affinity it has, we should finish looting and get back to the guild. We're still on the bottom rung until we turn this quest back into him.